I'm here. I'm queer. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's get into the queerness. Hello, and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast. I'm your co-host, John. At least I died an avenger of butts. And over there's your co-host, Nick. I've heard so much about you and your pants. Welcome. This is episode 31, wherein we talk about the recent film that came out, Ant-Man and the Quantumania of Wasp Madness, or whatever it's called. I don't even remember anymore. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
I didn't get any of that, but cool.
What do you mean you didn't get any of that? You didn't hear it, or you didn't just
I heard so much about your pants.
Yeah, remember when Bill Murray... Oh, by the way, spoilers. Bill Murray says, I've heard so much about you. You must be Hank. I've heard so much about you and your ants. No?
Oh.
What movie are you expecting to talk about?
Well, I've forgotten Bill Murray was in it, if I'm honest.
Okay. So that's... I know... Okay, just a bit of... Before we jump into it, a bit of context for our dear listeners. We haven't talked about it, you and me. We haven't really spoken about it. It came out last week, was it? Last week only? So we both saw Friday. It. Yeah, we both saw it like within the opening weekend or whatever. The only thing I told you was that I don't even remember now. Did I say that I liked it?
I think
so. I don't remember. Yeah. I said I liked it. Let's just say that I said I liked it. And you said it was a film. And that was all that we said to each other.
It was.
And so now this particular episode that we're going to do today is just purely going to talk about not quite first reactions, because we're a bit late for that, but the first time that we're discussing the film together, because I have a sense that we might have different opinions on some things, or we might agree. Whichever it is.
I hope I remember any of it. I'm not sure I'm going to remember any of it.
But did you definitely watched
it? I forgot there was ants in it.
You did not forget there was ants in it, unless you were like on drugs or something when you watched it.
I wish.
Okay.
Wish.
Now, so the context is we haven't spoken about it. The first thing I want to ask you, Nick, is what did you know about the film going into it before we talk about what our opinions are? Because I think this might give some framework about where we're coming.
Not a lot. I usually only see one trailer. I like to see one trailer to get kind of like a vibe for what it's going to be. But I don't want to watch any of the others. I think I knew Bill Murray was going to be in it because I don't really care for Bill Murray. So I vaguely remember that.
Okay. Had you heard that? Did you see that from a trailer? Or
possibly, or people talking about it. That's kind of it. And then it's like, it's going to be, I think I saw the moment where right at the beginning where they go into it. I think that was in the trailer. So we knew they were going into the quantum realm. It's called Quantumania. Yeah. And I knew Kang would be there. But what version of Kang and what sort of stuff? We knew he'd be the big bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the posters as well.
Yeah.
So interesting. You actually didn't know that much, did you?
No.
Okay, interesting. I was trying to find someone to go with because I was having trouble finding anybody who really wanted to go see this film. I messaged a friend and he said, doesn't it suck? And so I kind of went online. I read 3 reviews from reputable sources like Den of Geek and like a newspaper and something a bit left field. I forget what the other one was, but like 3 things that like at different sort of avenues, and they all kind of said it's good, it's not great, and they were talking about certain aspects of it. And I said, well, okay, let's go see it anyway because I know that we're going to talk about it on the podcast, and also I don't want to be spoiled. And that's kind of the reason I didn't really watch too many trailers, because I knew as much as I wanted to know before going into it. I didn't watch any breakdowns or any sort of speculation beforehand. I kind of just wanted to watch the film. And because people said it wasn't great, I had lower expectations. Pretty much.
And pleasantly surprised, or you're like, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't great.
I mean, I don't. Okay. So speaking about the reviews, the overall vibe I got from the film was it's not one of my favorites. It's definitely not one of my least favorites either. It's kind of middle ground. I kind of have to put it in context of what the overarching story that they're trying to tell with the MCU. There were parts that worked, there were parts that didn't work, and I don't think that it really. I liked it. I thought it was good fun. I thought it was done really well. There were really good parts on it that I'm trying to focus on. I didn't hate it as much as I hated Love and Thunder. I didn't hate it as much as I hated Multiverse of Madness. I would rank it above those two, and those kind of are the benchmarks of recent MCU films where people are like, "Oh, wasn't that good?" I think it's better than those two.
I don't.
Okay,
I definitely don't think it's better than Love and Thunder.
What's your? You did like that one.
I enjoyed Love and Thunder a lot more because it was straight after Multiverse of Madness. I was like, this is so fun. This is so much fun. I don't know what I expected from this. I don't hate, there's no anger. I think that's the thing. Unlike Multiverse of Madness, which has anger behind it. And I think that's the only film that I have where I'm angry at how bad it was.
Sure.
Even if I don't like The Eternals or Thor 2 or whatever. Like, they're not offensive to me, whereas Multiverse of Madness was offensive and how they fucked that up. But I'm not offended by it. And like, I'm not angry, despite my tone. I'm not angry about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is just my natural bitch tone.
I was going to say natural bitch tone. No, you beat me to it. It's fine.
Yeah. Resting bitch tone.
Eternals. I kind of, I don't know how I would rank it with Eternals. I think it probably on par in my head. I can't think of, they're just different films, I suppose.
My kind of thing is like, would you go and watch it again?
I will watch it again on Disney Plus, but only because the screen that I went to was particularly dark. I know that was one of the things that the reviews that I read beforehand really lauded was the great visuals. Except for one of them was like, "Oh, this can't help but see the green screen." And I'm like, "Well, it's a quantum universe kind of thing."
I do get that criticism. It's not so much a criticism. Well, for me anyway, I don't think it's a criticism of the film or the VFX. It feels like, let's just get straight into it.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I thought, or traditionally, or the plans were to kind of have this separation of the MCU films. You have the galactic space bonkers fun stuff, and you have the more grounded street, crime fighting, that sort of stuff.
Street level kind of people, yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I was like, Street Fighter. No, that's wrong. But whether it's because they are changing their plans or COVID or shit happens, we've had like all cosmic ones constantly.
Okay. You're talking about just the films.
Tired of it. Yeah, and we're going to have Guardians of the Galaxy next, and then the Marvels. It's like Quantumania, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Before that, Eternals, for God's sake. Everything is.
Even the street level Spider-Man film had like
cosmic-y, interdimensional multiverse.
Yeah.
And I know multiverse is their big plan to build up to Secret Wars, but it just feels. It feels too. I was about to say it feels too comic booky, or that's so stupid. But you know what I mean. It feels all CGI, all stuff. I miss. Where's the Give me a Winter Soldier.
All CGI all the time. Well, you're gonna have to wait for the Falcon film for that one.
Which is what they've just started filming it. I can't even keep track of. Yeah, it just feels like. I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm getting fatigue of it all. It's like...
Okay. So you were disappointed in the sort of scope of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I know the whole point was probably just to kind of introduce... Well, not introduce, he was introduced in Loki, but like, get Kang up on the big screen.
Yeah.
That's the point. And I will say they nailed it. Well, I think he fucking nailed Kang.
The actor, part. Yeah.
Jonathan Majors? Yeah. Majors.
We share very similar names, so kind of brethren.
Jonathan.
just the M and the M and the A and the last name M-A. We both have names that start with M-A and contain an R. So we're like sisters.
Sister wives.
Basically sister. So yeah, totally agree with you. I think Kang was great. I think the actor is fantastic. I think they did him really well.
I thought he was
played very well.
He played so well. He like held every, all my attention, every single scene he had. I thought he was charismatic, foreboding, but not kooky. You know, which is a very easy line to kind of go across if you're like, we have to be scared of this guy. You know, the way Thanos did. It's like, you could have fucked that up because it's a giant purple guy, but he was always intimidating and foreboding. And I think he
grounded.
did that. I think he did it really well. Menacing, but not zany. And I have total faith that he could like carry a whole film. So excellent.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased.
I agree. I think a lot of credit goes to the actor, but also a lot of credit goes to the writers as well, because they wrote him very clearly as a clear villain. Like he wasn't sort of, his motives, his intentions were very clear. Like we knew what he wanted. We knew how he was going to get it. And there was no sort of doubt about that. And in terms of storytelling, that's really good. And the thing is, like, even if we don't agree with him as a villain, we understand why he was doing what he's doing, and you know, we understand his ruthlessness. He's going to do it at any expense, you know. So I think that's probably one of the reasons he really worked, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes. The only time he went a bit kooky was in the end credits scene.
Post-credits.
When
it was a bit cringe.
Like, this is verging on this.
It was a bit.
It's verging on kooky, and I just put myself in his shoes. I'm like, all right, Jonathan, we're not gonna do the same character but completely different. We're gonna same character, but you're now an Egyptian god. Okay, or now you're from the future and you have a different accent, and now you're like a Skrull or whatever.
I know he had to make them very distinct, and they're the three that are in the comics, and that's the kind of the way he had to do it. But
what, those three other ones that are like the head of the Council of Kings or whatever?
Yeah, the Council of Ricks stole it from that.
That's a good point, because what the writer was a guy. I forget his name.
Jeff Loveness, then.
Jeff Loveness. That's right. His name is Jeff Loveness. Well done. You got that right. Proud of you.
Something right.
To get something right. There definitely wasn't a cut where we sort of moved along and sort of looked it up and then came back to the recording. So he did a lot of good episodes on Rick and Morty, and so there's a lot of comparisons to Rick and Morty, the Council of Ricks, and I think the Council of Ricks were based on the Council of Kangs, and now he's doing, you know, he's Kang's introduction in the MCU as well, so it's unavoidable. I don't mind it, really.
I know.
I mean, it's just sort of
Rick and Morty is a parody of it. That's fine, just because it's more familiar than
that's a good point.
A comic book from the 60s that Jack Kirby drew. I don't expect everyone to know that.
True.
I haven't even read it because it would have been a Avengers or Fantastic Four from the 60s.
So the other comparison that this film got, and this I'm pretty much basing it on those three reviews that I read. It was compared a lot to Star Wars.
Yeah, I did say that. The second you're in a big desert and you're on a hover thingy-majiggy thing, I said to my straight friend, it's got a Star Wars vibe, which I didn't hate.
Really?
Yeah, I said that straight away.
Oh, I guess the desert.
Yeah,
the desert bit in the beginning where she acquires the ride, whatever. The only Star Wars vibe that I got was when they entered that sort of weird bar with all these weird aliens
flying through the desert.
I thought that was very Star Wars
thing. They're in like rag outfits, so the costumes are the same. When they go to an alien bar and start a fight with the big blob thing, it's fucking Star Wars. It's the same thing, just with Michelle fucking Pfeiffer in it this time, baby. who was fine, but Michael Douglas was excellent. Even though he's old as shit,
I think he was
excellent.
They were both excellent, and considering like when you think about the previous two Ant-Man films, like you don't think of Michael Douglas. Like he was fine. He was kind of like he was fine. He was in it. It was great. And then suddenly this film, he's like suddenly he's there. Suddenly he is a character that has things to do, I suppose,
True.
Motivations, etc.
What do you think of him?
I like them both. I think Michelle Pfeiffer was very good as well. She basically had a lot more sort of meaningful screen time at the expense of Evangeline Lilly's character, who is Hope. Yeah, that's Hope. I always get Hope and Janet mixed up. I don't feel like she did very much.
No, and to introduce Cassie, because obviously I know that, again, they're setting her up for Young Avengers, which I get.
Young Avengers, yeah.
But I do feel like you're saying it sacrificed. It's when they try and do too much in one film, it's got to suffer.
Yeah.
I wonder if they reduced how much Hope was in it because Evangeline Lilly was anti-vaxxer kind of vibes. I mean, they couldn't exactly do that with Shuri, and she was far worse. But so maybe they were like, "We've got Michelle. We're paying for Michelle Pfeiffer. Let's put her up front.
Yeah,
let's use."
Her cost is her price tag is higher, so give her more screen time. I mean, good for them. I did like that. To go back to the Star Wars thing,
Yeah.
the vibe. I mean, maybe because I'm not a super huge Star Wars nerd, but I did totally get Star Wars vibes in the bar scene when there's all these aliens, these strange creatures, and I thought to myself while I was watching it, I was like, everything here is brand new again. We're starting with unfamiliar things, and this is kind of what people don't like when they watch Marvel films nowadays, because they want to see something that they're used to but slightly different. Like they want to see Captain America but in a different sort of angle, or they want to see Iron Man or there's Thor doing something different, you know. And when you start something like this, which everything is completely new, like they're in the quantum realm, this is completely new. There's like 95% of the film is in the quantum realm. It's like you're asking people to start again and get to know brand new characters, and it was just unfamiliar. And that's what people, I think, are expecting from Marvel stuff nowadays. They want a bit of familiarity. They have to ease people into things like this. And I don't think that the previous two Ant-Man films
we're
did
less
that.
patient. We're less willing to wait around for characters to develop and all that kind of stuff because we're so used to knowing everyone.
Yeah.
Also, we're not going to go back to the quantum realm. Like, that's it. We're done with that now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's highly unlikely unless they bring back like characters who were fan favorites or something like that.
No, but like, yeah, you make a good point. Like all the ragtag rebellion people, like I don't care about them. Who the fuck were they?
They're just, I mean,
I don't think anyone really gives a shit about the random rebel people and the guy who had no holes and then had a hole and that kind of thing. It was cute. It was fine.
It was a bit.
Just feels, yeah.
It was a bit.
We've seen it so many times now. It does feel a bit meh. I don't know.
Yeah, because those people who we want to care about, like when one of them falls in battle, or like if there's no real reason for us to sort of be drawn into them, then the audience will not care as much. So, for example, the female leader, which I can't remember her name, I'm not getting with my fingers. Jemima or something,
sure,
whatever
Jemima.
her name is. Like,
yeah,
she like was so brash and off-putting. There wasn't very much. This is not the acting was not the problem. It was basically like why are we going to care about her? We care more about Cassie, who wants to help them, and then we should follow her more, and like then the other people become background characters, which is where they should stay, or like clever bits kind of thing. But that's really sort of pulling nitpicking, yeah.
Which is true, yeah, because at this point, like it's a good film. It's fine.
I felt more emotion at watching one of those what are they called? Like just like the live building creatures, the creatures that were also buildings you could live inside of.
Yeah.
And like one of them had fallen and there was another one that was holding it. Like I was like, that's more moving than seeing
I did feel
one
a
of the
bit
characters
emotional
who speaks on the floor.
Lamp Face got shot in the face. That was sad. Like,
oh yeah.
I feel bad. He looked like the Pixar guy grew up and then got shot in the face.
Oh dear, that was a bit sad, and I think because we sympathize with that character more.
Lamp Face.
We sympathize more with Lamp Face
than a strong
than
woman.
Jemima.
Oh god, so problematic.
Yeah.
What else did you like? What else did we like? I will tell you one thing I did like, and I was surprised, and I didn't like it at first.
Go.
Was MODOK.
Go. Okay, let's talk about MODOK because
I didn't really like the CGI of his giant face was stupid, but that was fine because it's MODOK. No one expects it to be anything other than that. Spoilers. I really like his death scene. Actually, made me like laugh out loud when he was like. So yeah. I think
that's when he said, "At least I died an Avenger."
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that was fucking funny.
Finally.
I get it. I think that was. I mean, it was stupid, and there was no way you were going to make it look real, so they made it look stupid and then put plastic over it, and then he died, and it was stupid. So that's great, perfect, done.
Yeah.
Now we don't ever have to have MODOK again. People can shut the fuck up. because no one cares about MODOK until you're like, "Ooh, that's not comic book accurate." It's like, it's fine.
Oh, whatever.
It's fine.
You're
It's
not
a
gonna make a
floating head
comic
with teeny
book
tiny
copy.
feet. It was fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
If you want more MODOK, you could watch the animated show with Patton Oswalt,
Which I
as the
think
voice
would
of
have been
MODOK.
really good if they were allowed to swear. Can he swear in it? Because if he was like Robot Chicken style, or Rick and Morty style, that would have been really
I
funny.
think he does.
Okay, maybe
I
I'll
don't
give
remember, but
it. If he
I don't
does,
see-
maybe I'll give it a try. Tweet me.
He's fun. He's very funny. He's a very funny person anyway, but the show's good.
So I think they did that well.
Okay. I have no strong feelings about MODOK. I just think he's a weird character and they really took a risk. And I think it mostly paid off. I don't think it was. I do think that. I mean, I'm not a CGI expert, but something was unnerving. Whenever you saw him face on, no pun intended, but there was just something flat about it. But I would have believed if it was like a screen, except when you see him sort of like moving
like
and
a
there's a side
digital-
view, you do see a nose pop out. There is a nose, but when it looks front on, it doesn't look like there's a nose. Anyway, that's a tiny thing that was really weird. But then again, it was dark in my cinema, so maybe
No,
I'll
I
change
mean,
my
it looks weird.
mind when I watch it.
It's going to look weird.
Also, I think because Darren Cross, who's actually a really good actor, I've seen him in other things as well, and his voice isn't that wide. His face isn't that wide, so they had to like widen his face to fit the square of MODOK's
But
face.
that kind of fits in with him being crunched and shrunk,
I suppose.
from the first one.
What do you think about Ant-Man's story arc, character arc? He starts off in Ant-Man 1 as like this thief with a degree in mechanical engineering or whatever it was, goes to jail, and it's just there about sort of helping out or being there for his daughter, which then he's away for 5 years, so he doesn't do that, and then he is in jail again or something like that. I forget.
He goes to jail
but
after Civil War. Or house arrest.
That's what it was. He goes to jail and then he's gone for 5 years. So he's not there for Cassie a lot. And so his story arc seems to be that he has to learn to let his child take more responsibility and be in danger sometimes. It's definitely a shift in the tone from the first two Ant-Man films. Do you think that came across well? Or what did you think about the father-daughter relationship?
I don't care. But the tonal shift.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Incomplete Geeks.
I think that's a big part of it is the shift in tone. I know you have to change after you've done Endgame, but it's the same thing I was saying before. It's like the first film. I love the first film because it was a heist film. It was a Marvel heist film.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
And now it's just
it was fun.
Space and Odyssey, weird alien Star Wars thing. Not everything needs to be cosmic and weird. I would have loved a fucking heist. Space heist, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I know what to do, but it just feels like it's missing out on an element, having everything be so cosmic and out there.
Yeah, everything is so meaningful. Ant-Man was kind of the break, the comic relief from the sequence of important, meaningful films, and then you had like a heist film, and then I'm pretty sure. Should look this up before we start talking, but I'm pretty sure Ant-Man and the Wasp came directly after Infinity War. And so it was like, okay, this big massive thing has just sort of depressed us. Now we've got, or maybe it was Captain Marvel was next. I forget which
Captain Marvel was
but they were both in between.
So it was
okay. But they were both in between.
Yeah.
And they were kind of, Ant-Man and the Wasp was meant to be sort of like a fun thing. Like, oh no, his suit's broken. He's becoming a baby, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that was fun.
Jimmy Woo
introduced new things. Yeah, and Jimmy Woo. Yeah.
Is it Jimmy?
Did you say
Agent Woo? Jimmy Woo.
Agent Woo, who's great. We see him again, and then fast forward to number 3, where it's almost like Ant-Man, Scott Lang has to grow up, and we don't want him to.
No, I don't need that.
We want to see more fun heists.
Where was Luis?
Everyone's talking about Luis not being
there. That's so much a part of it, and I'm sure they would have got criticisms if he was there and he was like, okay, so like, and did the recap again. But I want that. It felt very lacking not to have it
See,
there.
we're expecting things now. We have a pattern of Peyton Reed Ant-Man films, and the first two have been one way, and the third one is a change up. Hang on. It's a switch hitter.
I don't know.
The
Are
third
you
one
trying
is
to use sports metaphors on a gay geek podcast?
Yes,
That's
I've got
offensive
this.
to,
Hang on.
like,
There's a baseball term.
Both of our genres. I don't need that.
With the one person who's listening who's like, that's a baseball term.
Thanks for listening.
Change up?
Switch
What's
up?
the baseball
Shut
term
up.
where
I
it's
don't
like
care.
switch
Pitch
up?
hitter?
Anyway.
I don't know.
The third one was a curveball.
Sure.
Let's put it that way. And we weren't expecting it. And we were expecting a pattern, and we didn't have it. In my opinion, that doesn't make it a bad film. I think it was good. I told you where I rank it. And I did like it. I feel like they're kind of trying to make Ant-Man more like an Avengers, like a film where they're battling a big bad, and nobody sort of cares about Ant-Man in the same way that they care about Iron Man or Captain America. And it's like Marvel's trying to put him into that role, which I'm not sure who really fits.
We need new characters. I think we need to stop. Apart from the Marvels, I want to see the Marvels. Let me watch the Marvels. Let it be good. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
Part 2s, Part 3s, Part 4s. Maybe we don't need 12 years of the same character. You were great.
Maybe not.
Let's get this. So
Thank you for
many
your service.
characters. Fucking bring the X-Men in. I do
my
not
God, yeah, that's gonna
need
be
an
good.
Ant-Man 3 when there are hundreds of X-Men just not being used.
Yep.
Come the fuck
No
on.
mention of mutants in this film either, was it?
Oh no, I've stopped expecting that.
Yeah. A mutation happened.
Blah.
Although now that like the timeline's all messed up, maybe that's going to be their way in. I still think my bet is that they were there all along and they've had some mutant power to make people forget.
That's exactly what I said. Have you been saying?
Oh, did I get that idea from you?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I would have loved the idea that they'd been there the whole time, but Professor X was making people forget, and that if he had been snapped, that would have been great. I was like, oh shit. But obviously they didn't do that. I would have loved that. Anyway.
They still could.
They know, Feige said, we know how we're going to do it now when they're going to introduce the mutants. But like, I'll be 52 by the time we get one. God.
No. I might be a bit old for like the younger ones, but
You'd be good as Colossus's like psycho brother. I think you'd be quite good because he's like massively tall.
Omega Red.
No, Mikhail. Such a bad Russian name. Rasputin.
No, Mikhail's a very Russian name.
No,
but
that's what I mean. Like,
weird.
it was Piotr and Mikhail Rasputin. It's like, could you be more?
Ilyana.
Ilyana. I'm so sad about.
But the thing is, like, if it was proper Russian, she'd be Rasputina.
Apparently, yes. I heard this on the podcast. I was like, why does he keep saying Rasputina? I've been reading her since I was 12 years old. She's Rasputin. But I'm guessing it goes female
it's
for
just
surname.
The way females' last names and
I had no idea. Feels weird.
Yeah, Rasputina. I don't know if it's pronounced that way. Anyway,
sorry, we're off track onto the X-Men. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad film, despite how angry I am. I'm so sorry. I will try and like be a bit more peppy. It was fine. I can't get more excited and more praiseworthy than it was fine. Jonathan Majors, brilliant and sexy as fuck.
Yep, I'll take all that.
Let's just get to Kang. Come on.
How many times do you think we're going to see him before the film with his name in it? How often is he going to come back? He's going to be in Loki season 2 in some way.
I wonder if there's got to be a limit because he'll have a contract of how many films. They usually do like films they're going to be in. Although I thought they said they weren't going to do that anymore because whatever. They can't just use him in every single one because then they're paying for him for like, because Sebastian Stan got like 9 movies he had to do. It's like, fucking hell, it's more than, more than Captain America, more than whatever. So that's why he's like, oh, hi, I'm in the end credits. Hi, cancel the film.
This counts as a film. And the TV show, each episode is a film.
It's a film. Yeah.
No, they can't put him in every single one anyway because we'd have too much of it.
But there's a lot of
Like if you think about Thanos' sort of arc, he wasn't in every single film. He was just in the end credits for a couple of times, so we knew he was there,
only in
and then
Guardians,
suddenly he
wasn't
was
Yeah.
boom. He was at the end of Age of Ultron. End credit scene, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was actually in Guardians. Right? Did I make that up?
You'd have to remind me what scene that was.
I don't know.
That was when they went to... Anyway. Somebody will tell us. Somebody will correct us.
Someone will tell us.
Are there any other characters we want to talk about? We talked about Kang. We love him. Hank and Janet. We love them.
I do love them, yeah.
Yeah.
Scott didn't really...
I think what you said before is a very good point, how we're probably not going to ever go back to the quantum realm.
No.
We probably won't. So all those people who we like...
Bye.
We watched die and battle this big thing, like they're gone. The giant ants are gone.
Mm.
I do think that the film was fun, though. It was like it wasn't even fun in the same way as like Love and Thunder.
But
was
do we
like
want that anymore?
Fun. Well, apparently, I don't know. I don't know.
Do we? Because
we want a heist fun.
I don't know.
MODOK fun.
Because it didn't land. Love and Thunder didn't really land. Will Guardians land? Like, it's going to be, it's a James Gunn film. It's like, oh my God, another one? Like, it's going to be very much the same style. Do we want zany then? That sort of stuff. I don't know.
Well,
maybe we want something a little bit meatier. The reason WandaVision was so fucking brilliant was it was also depressing as fuck. Like, maybe we want something that speaks to like, oh shit, life is difficult and shit, rather than escapism. I don't know. I'm wondering why it doesn't resonate with me the way it used to. I know Endgame changed everything and our expectations are way too high now, and I can't quite lower them.
Well, I think the difference is that after Endgame, there was like a big event that changed the life of the characters. And so the sort of the grief that dealing with that trauma that we can connect with, even though we didn't experience the blip, but they did it. We're watching them sort of deal with that. And that's much more interesting than sort of pretending it didn't happen or pretending it's like, trying to make a comedic effect out of it. It's the whole phase 4 was just basically them picking up the pieces and kind of learning how to move on from that. So you had obviously Wanda, who had a big sort of arc in WandaVision that was just thrown out the window from Multiverse of Madness, and then like Spider-Man was dealing with his sort of loss of his mentor, and then you had, I feel like we've talked about this before, but like every single thing in phase 4 was all about this sort of dealing with it.
Yeah, you're right.
And now we're done with that.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm just miserable. It could very well just be that. I'm just miserable.
You probably are miserable. And resting miserable face.
And
maybe you need more phase 4 material. Go back and watch like, I don't know, WandaVision again.
No, I can't watch that again. Not after knowing the Multiverse of Madness stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question. Let's speculate.
Okay.
Let us speculate. I'm watching the end because this is Ant-Man's 3rd film. I was like, he might die.
Someone should have died.
He might die. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like someone
could have died. What if Hank had died? That would have been good. He would have acted the crap out of that. That would have been good.
I don't know.
Or Michelle, Jan dying. Any of them would have been good. Hope, kill her off. Any of them.
Kill her off.
Clearly I'm in a like shitty mood and I want...
I don't know. I don't know what kind of impact it would have had if one of the sort of not main characters would have died. But I think that, like especially like the battles were great. I thought the battles were great because they weren't just sort of action flashing back and forth. Like they were there, they were interesting. You could follow them, and then they were done. And I'm accounting like most of the battle at the beginning where Kang's forces see the outlaws, and I'm counting like little bar sort of sprat that they had. Spat? Yeah, spat. And then also at the end when they fight Kang, and I thought it was really good. And I thought, okay, there's actually stakes here, even though we're in the quantum realm. The stakes are with the characters, not for like this grand. Well, yeah, I take it back. They're kind of our.
I thought when
we're told that they're grand because if he gets out, you know.
I thought when Hope came back to help and then the portal closed and they stopped him, I thought that they were going to be stuck in the quantum realm. I thought that would have been great.
Yes.
That would have been consequences to their actions. Like,
exactly.
Shit. It's a shit, but I did it because it's the right thing because I love you. And it's like, oh, that would have been good. And then the portal opens up and they go home, tra-la-la, and he's doing a voiceover. I'm like, what? It's a shame.
Yes, that lost me. Like, okay.
Stop making things happy. Agree. We don't want happy anymore.
I thought, okay, this is, like you said, consequences. If you just hit a reset button on that, no, we're all dead. We can't sort of watch the film and think, oh no, Kang's out now or something's going to happen, because that's nebulous. That's not happening. If we see that, Hope and Scott.
Scott, which one? Anyway. Paul, right? Yeah.
Paul and Evangeline are stuck in the quantum realm. Like, that would be
good.
Their sacrifice.
Would have taken the characters somewhere interesting, taken them somewhere else.
Yes.
And Cassie would have been left by herself to take on her father's
mantle.
Why the fuck didn't they do this? That makes so much more sense.
Because Scott Lang's character arc was like wanting to be there for his daughter, and now he's done the sacrifice, and now Hope is there as well. They're stuck there. That would have been great. I read somewhere that was the original ending.
That makes so much more sense.
And then, like the portal could only let so many people through, for example, or
they had to blow up the portal to stop Kang going out. That's a very simple sacrifice. Yeah, but they didn't. She did it. That would have been a good ending.
They did, yes. But like the people who made it through, they didn't know. Like Scott didn't come through, so like who's coming through now? We don't know. Something's happening.
That would have been good.
But only one more person can get through the portal. There's only one. It can only handle one more thing anyway. And then
they didn't do that.
The Cassie's reactivating the portal was a really shitty Deus Ex Machina. That was just like, oh no, we can fix it again.
That's going to be a problem with everything now because of the multiverse. There's no consequences to anything because there's another universe where this didn't happen. Yeah. I really hope that the rumors are true, that they are now not going to bring Tony back, because they kept saying that they were going to bring him back. Rumor? And Captain America and Steve.
No.
You can't, guys. We've got to have some fucking consequences. It has to have meaning, because if you multiverse it and every time we're waiting for them to jump to another reality where Robert Downey's there just hanging out, it's like, we need to move on. There are different characters.
Yeah.
It just shits on the story.
Yeah. There's different characters, and if you put us through the emotional roller coaster of somebody dying and then bring them back to life, then it means nothing. If you tell a story where there are no consequences, that story has no meaning. This is what happens with a lot of TV shows where like characters will die and then they bring it back, it wasn't really dead. I don't like resurrections in that way because it robs the viewer of feeling that emotional impact.
I know they do that a lot in comics. I know they have to do that a lot because they've been going for 60 years. It's the X-Men's 60th anniversary next month, apparently.
God, they're old.
I know. So people die and come back like for dramatic episodes, blah, blah, blah. But these are films. Like, we don't need to keep bringing them back. Yeah, I think... But that's always a kind of criticism, isn't it, of MCU films, is the villains, the stakes. No one really feels the threat levels or anything like that. And to now be able to snap to a different timeline, and there's some, Wanda's fine. So let's bring Wanda back. Although, let's bring Wanda back. No. Please, let's bring Wanda back. Let's fix that fucking shit and bring Wanda back.
Let's fix it. Stakes and consequences. I think those are the important things. I feel like the stakes were okay in this film. Consequences.
Yes, it would have been. Because they were. Yeah. And they don't know that there's a council of Kangs. So
no. But also, first of all, from a narrative perspective, it's shitty that he's talking to himself at the end, because in the beginning, that happens a lot in MCU films where there's a character narrating and then you see like a montage of people or clips or events or whatever. And then as the character is narrating, you open on him or her, and that character is actually reading something to a character, or is like telling a story, like Korg does it in Love and Thunder, or a couple of other times. So that's how they get away with narration, because it kind of is a cheap tool to tell a story as a narrator. Then at the end, he's just narrating. It doesn't fit. No, I don't like it. Anyway, that's just a nitpicky sort of narration thing.
What?
It does
sound like it.
We didn't hate the no. I just have, I have critiques for it because I would have done it better, even though I'm not a filmmaker.
Oh,
so
God.
that's
Can you
my.
imagine the shit show?
But I thought it was really good. His self-doubt was really good at the end. That's what I wanted to say. That when he's like, oh my God, did I just kill everybody?
The menacing panic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still would have preferred him to be stuck, but yeah. It needs to be more. Yeah, we need threat. We need scary, and it needs to build up.
Consequences,
which we won't get. Anytime soon.
What's next for the future of the MCU then?
Guardians 3,
both in terms of. Okay, that's the next film
in May, I think.
Is there a TV show before that?
Yes, Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion? Oh,
which perfect. Is annoying.
Are we still gonna?
Yes, we will. Because I love that story so much, and I think it's so fucking good. It's going to be completely forgotten and overshadowed because of the whole Kang. Kang and Secret Wars are so big. To shove Secret Invasion as a 6-episode whatever television show, I feel it's no one is not going to affect anyone outside of the TV show. Whereas it could, I don't know. So I do have my
that could be your street level thing.
I would love, but they're aliens in space, so not really. But also Olivia Colman's in it.
Well,
and Emilia Clarke.
She's great. Yeah. What? You like her then?
I'm very excited for that. It better be good. It will be good.
It will be good. And if you're listening to this, we will review every single episode because there's only 6, right? I can't commit to any more.
I think it's 6. I think we're fine to commit to 6.
Okay,
yeah, we're going to do.
Good, I can do 6
on the evening, episode. On the night reactions, short ones, and try and get them out straight away.
Little to no editing.
It's going to be lots of and tea drinking.
And squeaky chairs.
Yeah, squeaky chairs and all that kind of thing.
We should learn. We're experts by now. We should know. Lots of typing.
Yes.
No, not really.
So yes, I'm so excited for that one, but also high expectations. So I'm trying my best not to. I think I don't know what to expect with it, but I do expect a lot.
That's exactly where they want you to be.
That's fine. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that one. Then Guardians.
I'll make a prediction right now. Oh. James Rhodes is a Skrull, and he has been for a long time.
Okay.
I just feel it. I just sense that the way he's not even in the suit anymore. Of course he probably doesn't want to be after he broke his back, but he didn't break his back, but you know what I mean. Something's off about him. Also, he looked different in the first Iron Man film.
He was younger.
What can I say?
He was a hell of a lot younger.
He was a different actor.
Oh, in the first film, he looks very different. Yes. It's like, you don't know.
Wouldn't it be funny if they did that?
Shapeshift.
Let's bring back Terrence Howard to play the Skrull version. Anyway, so that's next. What's next for Kang? Because Kang will return.
It didn't say when, did it? It just said Kang will return.
Correct, yeah.
I don't know.
In Loki version season 2?
I guess so. That'll be
in the post-credits scene. Here's a theory. In the post-credits scene, when you see Victor Timely, never heard of him. Apparently, I looked him up. Victor Timely from Timely, Wisconsin. Shut up.
Because Marvel Comics used to be called Timely Comics before it was bought out.
Oh, really? But they keep mentioning Timely, Wisconsin, which is not a real town, I believe. But that's where apparently Victor Timely is from. Anyway, is a theory that is the Kang who was defeated by Ant-Man in this film, who didn't die when he was sucked into the energy thingy, whatever. He was just blasted to
Wisconsin.
The 1920s or whatever.
God help us all.
Wisconsin. Can you see I'm wearing my Bucky Badger t-shirt?
Is that a Wisconsin thing?
Yeah, the W on his jersey, that means Wisconsin. Cool. Is like university, college sports. College sports! He was throwing pitches. You expect a pattern on the third one. They threw. We gave him a.
All right, enough of this sports crap.
Switch up. I figure it out.
Let's wrap this up.
I'll text you in the middle of the night, like, "Oh yes, it's a." Okay, but yes. So that's our take on Ant-Man. If you liked it and you want to say something about it that we didn't talk about, you can email us at incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram. The username for both of those is @incompletegeeks. And we post stuff as often as we can. We want to hear from you. We enjoy doing this because we enjoy learning about new things, because we get a lot wrong. We're sorry if we get anything wrong. We're enjoying what we're doing, and we learn all the time, because as much as we like to be, we are not complete geeks.
But we are working on it.
Yes, we are.
That was a long one.
No, should I do it all again? I don't know what I was doing. I need like a script or something.
We've done it enough. That's fine.
I'll just cut it short. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.